Hello, Algebra 2s. This is the second part of day 1 for Unit 10, Laws of Exponents. The first one got cut short, sorry. So I'm just going to upload a part 2 to it. So we were in the middle of this example 1C, where power to power means we multiply. And if you notice, we have conjugates here. So you can either just type that into your calculator, since you're allowed calculators, or do your FOIL or the box, whichever you're more comfortable with. So that's really 1 times 1 is 1. Outer and inner are opposites, so then it just becomes minus rad 5 times rad 5, which is 5, which gives us 3 to the negative 4, which is 1 over 3 to the 4th, or 1 over 81 when you multiply it out. Okay? All right, here we have same base. And then we have, in multiplication, you add your exponents. So I'm going to add those two together. We have a common denominator, which is 2. And when I add 1 plus 1, it's 2. And rad 5 minus rad 5 is gone. So this is really 2 over 2, which is 3 to the first, or just 3. In division, we subtract our exponents. So it's 3. And then it's really 1 plus rad 5 minus 1 minus rad 5 all over 2, since we have a common denominator. This distributes, it's a negative 1 plus rad 5. So that's really 3 raised to the 1 minus 1 is gone. Rad 5 plus rad 5 is 2 rad 5. Over 2, the 2's can cancel, so it's 3 raised to the rad 5, which you do not need to simplify. Okay, next one. Same base, keep the base. In multiplication, you add your exponents, so 2 cos squared x plus 2 sine squared x. Okay, if you notice, all of these are bringing back old material. As a spiral review, so is this. Hopefully you recognize this as your Pythagorean identity. Cosine squared x plus sine squared x equals 1. So if you have 2 cos squared x plus 2 sine squared x, all of this would equal 2. So still the same base. 2 squared is 9. Okay, so remember this. Cos squared plus sine squared is 1. Just imagine if you put times 2 times 2 times 2. That's what that was. Okay? All right, next one. It's asking you to take those and express x in terms of e. Remember what that means? That means find out what x is equal to, but you're allowed to have an e in the answer. Okay, and then approximate to the nearest whole number. So x is equal to 5 a to the 4th, but a is 2e cubed. Okay, so that means each of these 5 times each of these get a fourth power on it. So it's 1 times, because it's power to power, so that's really 2 to the 4th, and then e to the power to power we multiply. Okay, so that's really the same thing as doing 5 times 2 to the 4th, which is 16, e to the 7th, and 5 times 16 is 80. So it's 80 e to the 7th, because it said you can leave the e there. Okay. Number 3, similar thing, express a. So a equals 2 times b to the 3rd, but b is a negative 1/2, e to the negative 2. So that is 2, negative 1/2 to the 3rd, and then e to the negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. So that's really 2 times negative 1/2 to the 3rd. So a negative to the 3rd is still a negative. 1 to the 3rd is 1, 2 to the 3rd is 8. And e to the negative 6 is really 1 over e to the 6th. So now, if you multiply this, this can cross cancel, and we get a negative 1 over 4 e to the 6th. Okay? And each of these where it asks you to round or express as a whole number or decimal, that you can just type it into the calculator when you're done for that part. Okay? Last one. If you want to pause and try this yourself, you can, and then check it. Okay, so it's asking us to approximate s. X is equal to 3x e to the second, and this left something out. That's a typo. Okay, well, we can leave that one out, and when I get back to work, I will figure out which one that is, and we can just do this one as our do now when we come back. Okay? All right, so please make sure that you get this whole unit done, and we'll do some practice problems when you come back, and then we can move on to day 2